Hi, I'm Mr. Mullaney here with a brief lesson on Federalists and Anti-Federalists, the debate over ratification of the Constitution after the Constitutional Convention of 1787. This pair of slides was prepared by my student teacher, Colin Boyle. Okay, so two views of the proposed Constitution. You had your Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. You get that name Federalist because it was creating a system of government where you'd have a national government and state governments, and both would have powers. So that's why you get that's a federal system, and that's where you get that term federal and Federalists and Anti-Federalists. The Articles of Constitution was most certainly not a federal system because the national government was token. It had very little power. All right, so the Federalists, they support this Constitution. You have Washington, Madison, Alexander Hamilton. They want a strong national government. They write a series of papers that appear in newspapers. They're called the Federalists together. Today, I think we call them the Federalist Papers, but back then they were just the Federalists, to convince people to agree with them to make the case for the Constitution. They said, look, this Constitution is not perfect, but it still should be approved. It would be much better than what we have now. The Anti-Federalists opposed the Constitution. They thought it was a threat to the power of the state government. And they thought, oh, this president that you guys conceived of, that person will definitely become a king. The Federalists win because the Constitution is ratified. So there was a big feeling in the country that the Articles of Confederation needed fixing and were not working. So they used that sentiment. They had a plan, whereas the Anti-Federalists didn't really have a plan other than to oppose the Constitution. The Articles were unpopular, so that really worked. Having a plan as opposed to just being a critic worked in this case. Federalists were well organized. You talk about a lot of power that they had. And then they had the real trump card, which is the support of George Washington. No one more famous, no one more credible in the United States of America than George Washington. His support was invaluable. James Madison is considered the father of the Constitution. He wrote a lot of it. He's a big leader behind it and who wrote a lot of the Federalist Papers. And after some close votes in certain states, some states were more for it than others, it is ratified. And so that's our lesson recap: Federalists and Anti-Federalists.